So I have a question. Why are we still making movie musicals? They flop at the box office, they literally have to trick the normie audience into seeing the movie, and then people who do like musicals end up not liking the movie because it doesn't live up to the original material. So why do they keep getting made? Who are they for? And why do they keep trying to hide the fact that there's music in it? We've got a lot to discuss, so let's get into it. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Kat and I really like musicals. If you really like musicals, hit subscribe to join the musical theater internet cult. We talk about things other than musicals. I mean, oh, you were confused about the cult part. Yeah. Thanks to Hungry Root for sponsoring this video. We'll hear more from them later. Okay, so why do movie musicals keep getting made? Simple answer is, of course, money. Because musicals can be insanely profitable. I mean, recent example that comes to mind is Hamilton. Do you guys remember that Hamilton craze a few years ago? Everybody and their mother was not throwing away their shot. But you've got massive movie musicals, stuff like The Greatest Showman or the Pitch Perfect franchises, any number of Disney animated movies. Chicago won Best Picture, La La Land won Best Picture for a few minutes. But the trend that we've been seeing is that all of those have been outliers. They're the exception to the rule, not the norm. So what about all the other movie musicals? There are 3 movie musicals currently in theaters. We've got Wonka, The Color Purple, and Mean Girls, and all 3 of them worked so hard to try to hide the fact that they're musicals. They've really been focused on hyping up the original source material. So no, they're not musicals. Ugh. Color Purple is actually just a bold new take on a beloved classic, and Mean Girls is a new twist from Tina Fey. So no, they're not musicals. What? I said they're musicals. They're musicals. There's no mention of adapted from the hit Broadway musical. It only focuses on the original source material. Because here's what I've learned. I was reading some really interesting articles, and I'll link some of them down below if you want to read more. But basically, from a marketing perspective, recent movie musicals that have highlighted the fact that they're a musical from the get-go, from their initial trailer, have all significantly underperformed. I think it's such an interesting trend because it's so beyond bizarre to try to have a trailer for a musical that tries to hide the fact that it's a musical, but then in reality, when they put it into practice, it ends up being even worse. Telling people it's a musical is apparently that much of a turnoff. Which, like, to each their own, I can understand, it's just a personal preference. However, I do think it's indicative of a larger issue that the entirety of the genre has been deemed universally cringe, both for movie musicals and like listening to musicals. Like, it's always the butt of the joke, but that could be its own topic on a whole nother day. I think there's a lot of undue stigma around theater kids being annoying. I think that's so goofy. Like, just let someone enjoy the thing they're passionate about. It's fine. I mean, if you're going full La Vie Boheme and jumping up on tables in restaurants to start singing, yeah, that's really bad, don't do that. But like in general, liking musicals should be fine. But I guess not, because movie musicals are such a turnoff to the general public that film studios have realized that it is far more profitable to lie by omission and hide the fact that it's a musical to try to trick the audience into seeing their movie. We'll get more into that, but first, let's take a moment to hear about today's sponsor. Thank you to Hungry Root for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, I am a massive fan of Hungry Root. I've talked about my love of them before, and I will recommend them forever. Let's whip up a barbecue chicken flatbread and talk about it. Because if you don't know, Hungry Root is a personalized grocery service delivered directly to your doorstep. You start off by taking a short, fun quiz sharing how you like to eat, any dietary needs or personal goals, stuff like eating more veggies or saving money on your grocery budget. Hungry Root then sends your personalized weekly grocery delivery along with simple, delicious recipes to follow along. You can easily edit your weekly deliveries and choose exactly which items you'd like to receive, or you can let Hungry Root choose for you. Because the more you use Hungry Root, the more personalized their recipe recommendations become. Using Hungry Root has not only helped cut my grocery budget, but it helps save on prep time, shopping time, and food waste too. Having a log and being able to just reorder your favorite recipes or pantry staples has been such a game changer. It saves us so much time and hassle. I love that Hungry Root sends full-sized ingredients rather than just the amount needed for a recipe, and it's so nice to have the option to add items a la carte. Like this order, I added some oat milk because we ran out, and I also ordered some extra salmon because I'm obsessed with Hungry Root's salmon. I love that it's shipped to you on your own schedule, and they're fantastic with keeping you updated on deliveries, so you'll know the moment your groceries arrive. So I highly recommend checking out Hungryroot. They made an incredible discount for us. It's the best deal they offer. So if you want to check it out, now's the time. The first 100 people to use my code CATSTEAL40 will get 40% off your first grocery order with Hungryroot. Click the link in the description box below, or scan the QR code and use code CATSTEAL40 to get 40% off. Thanks again to Hungryroot for sponsoring this segment. And now, back to the video. Trailers that have clearly musical elements in them test badly with audiences. So they take all the musical bits out and try to cobble together a trailer, which then always looks really weird and disjointed, because how can you advertise a musical while hiding the fact that it's a musical? I always felt like the days of trying to trick an audience were behind us. Like, I feel like that's a thing of the 90s and 2000s, a bygone era. We've got the internet, we've got reviews, we've got Twitter. We know exactly what movies are before we go into them. You end up seeing like half the movie in clips on social media anyway. Additionally, it's not like it's the olden days when you had to go to the movie theater and see which tickets were available for which showings. And if it's sold out, that's okay, we'll just pick something else that looks good because it's $7. But nowadays, with ticket processing fees rivaling car payments, I'm much pickier about which movies I see in theaters and which I just wait a bit to see on streaming. There's no gamble when you get to the theater because you already bought your tickets on your phone. So I'm not quite sure who this audience of people who get tricked into seeing these movie musicals are, but I guess it's pretty significant. In recent years, movie musicals from major film studios have been really underperforming at the box office. Two recent examples of movie musicals I personally loved: In the Heights and West Side Story. Fantastic movies. Both were very open and honest that they were musicals from the get-go, and both unfortunately didn't hit what the studios were hoping. Another recent big budget movie musical that flopped at the box office is Cats, but I wanted to spare you all from having to remember what the cats from Cats looked like, but now we're talking about Cats, so here you go. Are you happy with yourself? Are you proud?
Do they have people teeth?
Big expensive movie musicals just don't make money the way they used to. That is, of course, until Wicked, hopefully. In addition to all of the hype surrounding the actual Wicked movie, something I found really interesting is the amount of weight and pressure that's already being put on this movie to succeed. I'm still really interested to see how it'll end up performing, especially against how ostensibly expensive and massive this undertaking was. So I'm very curious to see how that all plays out. But I think something that the Wicked movies really got going for it is that everyone knows that it's going to be a musical. Everyone going into that theater is so excited to see the movie musical Wicked. Clear expectations, clear delivery. So there's gotta be mainstream appeal for that, right? I guess time will tell. You know, I was really surprised that Mean Girls ended up getting a wide release. For whatever reason, I thought it was going to be like a Peacock original. And I don't mean that as a diss, I mean that as a positive, because like Netflix did an incredible job with Tick Tick Boom and The Prom. Apple TV has Schmigadoon, which is out of this world. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch Schmigadoon. And it seems like with those projects, they're not trying to push them as giant money makers. They're able to focus on making something that's not necessarily mass appealing, just something that's really good. But those are just my thoughts. I want to hear from you. What do you think about movie musicals, the current releases, or anything else we talked about today? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, if you're new here, hit subscribe, join the musical theater internet cult. Thank you again to Hungryroot for sponsoring this video. Go check them out. You can click the link in the description box down below, or you can scan this nifty QR code and use code CATSTEAL40 to get 40% off. Try the salmon. It's so good. I hope you're having a great day. I love you so, so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!